Hope shattered earlier this month. The Wild are trying to pick up the pieces and find the right fit for their puzzle of the future. While in Chicago, the Hawks continue to struggle to find the right fit for a return to respectability. Tonight, two old friends say hello again on Fox Sportsnet. The Wild road trip rolls on from Madison Street, west side of Chicago. A great look at the United Center. And we bring you inside tonight for this late season matchup between the Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks. Welcome in, everybody. Matt McCutcheon. We are back in Chicago, set for the Wild and the Blackhawks. And Mike, let's take a look at tonight's Northland Ford starting goaltenders.
Well, Adam Monroe, he's seen the road this year. He started in the East Coast League, played in Norfolk a little bit now, playing in the National Hockey League. One of the four goaltenders the Wild will face this year once he plays. Manny Fernandez had his 3-game winning streak broken, but he certainly has played tremendous in the last few weeks. Look for him to play that way here this evening in Chicago.
That's the final meeting of 4 this season between the Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks. Mark Swinard to take the draw against Tyler Arneson. Underway tonight as the Wild wrap up a 2-game road trip. They lost last night 2-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets at Nationwide Arena. The puck will be sent back into the Chicago zone before it's cleared. Blackhawks look to set it up. Mark Swinard is there, and he'll play it at his own blue line as the defense sets it for the Minnesota Wild. Alex Henry, and this one's going to go down the length of the ice. Brian Berard, they wave it off. So Berard, one of the leading scorers, one of the top 10 scorers among defensemen, having a pretty good season after signing as a free agent. Philippe Kuba, he'll wrap one around, and the Wild try to get it out. Alexander Daig fails, and the puck is sent right back into the near corner. Just underway, opening minute tonight from Chicago. We played 45 seconds between the Wild and the Blackhawks. Puck will be sent around, and Andrew Burnett flips this one out to center. Mark Swinard out there on a line with Andrew Burnett and Alexander Daig. A chance by Tomo Rutu, and that's a stop by Manny Fernandez. And so Philippe Kuba will look to play it along as Wes Walz back in the lineup tonight has the puck.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how well he skates because that's an injury that just doesn't automatically go away, but hope to see him out there on a regular basis if he's feeling up to it.
And I'm sure he's going to be bothered with it down the stretch over the final 6 games of the regular season. Puck played into the corner. Wild will try to get it out. Marian Gaborik there on the right wing boards, but it's kept nicely by Scott Nickel. And behind the net. Moving on for Chicago that time, Mark Bell. Puck played back through center, and Marian Gaborik will chase one down. Gaborik in behind the net. Icing is waved off. Great hustle there by the Wild forward. And now the Blackhawks will play it away. Bell took a big hit there, and it's sent to center ice and dumped in by Eric Nicholas. The Wild play it. Andre Zuzin as the Blackhawks and Wild change it up front. Puck played to Bouchard at center. He'll move it along for Jason Weimer. Got it in over the Hawk line before it's stripped away. And back come the Blackhawks. Tyler Arneson. That's center ice. Gets it inside the zone. That's knocked off his stick. Mikhail Yabakov with the puck there. And the puck played back to center as Pierre-Marc Bouchard chases one down. But it's Chicago touching up and an icing call here.
Well, one of the Sutter brothers, Brian Sutter, trying to get his team and his youth, basically. A lot of youth in this lineup, trying to put them in different positions. Basically, a similar position that the Wild are in right now, trying to take a look at really what they have. And they've made a lot of movement between here and Norfolk. And Norfolk's actually challenging for the playoffs this year. So that's why Michael Layton, the goaltender, was sent down to help them down there. And that's why Adam Monroe is in the nets here tonight as Jocelyn Thibault backing up for the first time in quite some time.
And they're saying Thibault's going to play in the home and home over the weekend against St. Louis for the Chicago Blackhawks. 6 goaltenders. That's just like last year in St. Louis when the Blues, I believe, went through 6 as well. This puck is played down.
Thibault hasn't played since November 7th after getting injured and then getting that hip surgery.
Hawks will set it up. Brett McLean with it. He'll get it back to center ice. Sends one in. No problem there for Manny Fernandez as he gives way to Philippe Kuba. At center for Pascal Dupuis. Dupuis back in the lineup for the first time in quite a while. Out there with Matt Johnson, part of the forward line, also featuring Rickard Wallin. This one sent to the front, and Monroe will steer that aside. And Ryan Vandenbush will clear it away. Keep an eye on Vandenbush and Matt Johnson. Both the fourth lines out here right now. I would imagine we'll see a lot of line rolling as long as we stay at even strength here tonight. Into the zone for Rickard Wallin. Looks to give it off to Pascal Dupuis, but it's taken away, and Travis Mullen for Chicago the other way. Into the zone, Jason Strudwick leaves for Brian Berard, but that's poked away. And back come the Minnesota Wild. Matt Johnson with it. Got it right to the line, but this puck is going to be offside. We go downstairs. Third member of our broadcast crew is Clay Matvick.
All right, gentlemen, I was talking to Wild General Manager Doug Risebrough tonight, and he said the NHL is wasting no time punishing violent outbursts since that Todd Bertuzzi incident, as is the case of last night's sucker punch by Columbus's Jody Shelley to the head of Alex Henry. Shelley gets a 3-game suspension today without pay. Henry took 5 stitches to the forehead and told me tonight he has lost some respect for Shelley. He has moved on and he has forgotten about it, but he has lost some respect for Jody Shelley, and I guess I can't blame him.
Yeah, you know what? I lost respect for him too, but it was earlier than this.
And you were right on. You were very close to the suspension total.
I was right on to what I thought it would be, not to what I thought it should be, I guess. I think we all think that maybe it's the intent that should get called, although that's a tough thing to judge, rather than the injury. I mean, if he'd have gone down and been more severely hurt, would the suspension been a little bit longer? So I guess that's a bone of contention with some people.
This one sent towards the net by Alexander Daig, and the puck is freed. They'll get it back to center ice. Alex Henry out there. And the Blackhawks will set it up in behind the net. Steve Popst plays it right back to center. Yeah, Colin Campbell's been busy as of late, that's for sure. He is the NHL disciplinarian.
Marty Turco with 4-game suspension for his stick work on Ryan Smith.
Monty Lotson in the right wing wall. Tries to get it inside the zone, and it's cleared away by Darren Quint. And chasing this one down is the defenseman Alex Henry. Philippe Kuba on left wing. Antti Laaksonen plays it to center. Look to move it along. Wes Walls over the line. That's picked free, and back the other way go the Blackhawks. Shot taken that time is knocked away by Manny Fernandez, and we'll get a whistle and a stoppage. We played 5 minutes and 26 seconds of this opening period, and already Wes Walls with a couple of shifts.
Yeah, he's going to basically be testing it, and and it'll probably be that way for the rest of the season for him. I mean, Wes Walls actually learned a lot from the incident with Andre Zuzin earlier in the year. When Zuzin tried to come back too early, Walls actually, when he hurt his shoulder against on that Kachuk hit, said that he took that same philosophy and said, I don't want to come back too early and have it be hurt. And I think that's what he's trying to do, and I think that's what the team's trying to do with his hip flexor, groin, and abdominal area right now. And so that that's what it is. It's kind of a wait and see kind of thing. Test it out a little bit, push it a little bit, and see how far you can go. I think Yabukov saw how far he could go, and it wasn't as far as he thought.
A little bit too far. Here's the replay.
Just a little bit of I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it would have to be interference, because it certainly wasn't an overly physical play, but it was an interference play as the Wild tried to get up there and contend for the puck near the blue line.
So Mikhail Yakubov sits, and the Wild will go to the power play. That was the big story last night in Columbus. The Wild 0 for 8 on the man advantage. Chouinard starts out on the power play up front with Rickard Wallin and Pascal Dupuis, the point men are Kuba and Marian Gaborik. And part of that too is Gaborik gets the puck in behind the net from Fernandez. Part of that is a lot of experimentation on the man advantage of the power play at this time of the year. No question. Philippe Kuba will send into the right wing corner. Rickard Wallin leaves there. Bouchard will set it up. Pierre-Marc Bouchard looking around. He's got some room on the right side. Now Bouchard gets it back, and a wrist shot blocked away. Goes right towards the net, and the Hawks will clear it out of the zone back to center.
You make a good point. You just look at all the top power plays in the National Hockey League over the years. They always seem to be 5-man units, or at least units that have seen a lot of action together. And when you have that, you have that both that verbal and nonverbal communication. You know, guys like Gaborik and Bouchard, if they play enough on the power play, they will all of a sudden just know where each other are, and you add the other players in the mix as well, and all of a sudden you have a clicking power play. But right now, with too many guys or a lot of guys getting ejected in there, it makes it a little more difficult.
Well, it's frustrating when you go 0 for 8, no question, as this one sent into the bench, but I think the bigger picture is just to continue to work on things that might work and might benefit the team as they head into next season. And we'll get another face-off to the left of Adam Monroe.
It was the second highest power play opportunity that they had all year long. They went 1 for 11 in October.
Down in Tampa or Florida?
It was against Florida, yes. It was against the Florida Panthers on the road on that first road trip, first big swing.
Bouchard will play it. Still 45 seconds left in the Wild power play. Andrew Burnett trying to work it down low. Now Pierre-Marc Bouchard, and this one's cleared away, sent down the length of the ice this time by Jason Strudwick. So the Hawk penalty killers will change it up, and the Wild will set it up as Alexander Daig has it. 24 seconds left in the power play. Daig to Bouchard, gains the Chicago blue line. Bouchard works it on the right wing boards. Burnett to the front, shot, score! Andre Zuzin backdoor, and he's given the Wild the 1-0 lead. It's a power play goal.
Now this is a carbon copy of what they were practicing a few days ago. Just trying to get the attention all the way to the other side of the ice. If you can do that, then you can sneak that far backdoor guy down. And here he comes. There's Zuzin, and he gets that feed. That winger can't get down in time, and it's just a one-time shot. Here's the look. Quick pass by Burnett, and it's in the corner. A nice look there. And the Wild get it going on the power play.
So Andre Zuzin gets the goal, 7th of the season, and the first power play tally since that 3-for-5 effort a week or so ago at home against the Ottawa Senators. So Wes Walz will play it. Monty Loxton trying to get it out. Back to center ice, Wes Walz. They're moving on left wing. Gaborik has it. To Walz to the front. He scores! Wes Walz! And it's 2-0 Minnesota.
Well, you know what? You gotta love it when you see a player start to play and finish it at the other end. Here's Walz, feeds it. Look at the skating. No one even comes near him. And this is a guy that really is not at 100%. If he's going 3/4 speed, then you can't imagine how fast his full speed is. Great move there by Walz. Gives the puck up, finds the hole, gets the puck back. Great move there and puts it underneath the pad of Monroe.
Welcome back, West. 12th of the season in the Wild. They've gotten a couple of goals here in Chicago in the span of 20 seconds. Puck play back into the Chicago zone. And Strudwick touches up, and we'll get an icing call. Oh, what a start for the Wild in the Windy City. They celebrate a 2-0 lead.
Walz in the lineup, you usually think defense, but offensively there's an element as well.
I guess.
And when he scores or gets a point or even has a plus rating, you look at the numbers there, and so you can see why they signed him to a 3-year deal just about a month ago, because he's so valuable to this team.
Well, it's amazing when he went out of the lineup the first time after the Tkachuk hit in St. Louis. It was a totally different dynamic in terms of the team. This one thrown to the front. Manny Fernandez, no problem there. And Stefan Veilleux for the Wild. Bring it across center ice as he dumps one towards goaltender Adam Monroe. A shaky start here, started by that backdoor play by Andre Zuzin on the power play. Wild will play it back to the point. Monroe, his shot. That went wide of the mark. Bouchard down low, looking to work it away for Weimer. Now behind the net, Stefan Veilleux. Weimer, Veilleux, and Bouchard. The forward unit right now for Jacques Lemaire. Into the right wing corner. 4 players battling for it, and we finally get a whistle. Veilleux trying to spin away with it, but it won't work. Well, Stefan Veilleux in the lineup again tonight. He's gone 3 without a goal, getting a nice long look here down the stretch for the Minnesota Wild.
And you know what? That was one of the philosophies that they were looking for him to change this year, and that is not worrying so much about how many goals or assists he's going to get because those things will come. And Jacques Lemaire has talked about that before, especially with the young guys. He wants to see them playing good hockey. He knows that the goals and assists will come when they're playing good hockey. But if they're just going out there to score, you're not playing the right kind of system, at least not for Jacques.
Dupuis will find Kuba with a wrist shot, score! Tipped in front. I think it might have been Matt Johnson on the deflection. 3-0 Minnesota.
You may see Jocelyn Thibault sooner than you thought you would. He's not making a move yet. He's still looking on, but the Wild taking advantage of Adam Monroe here in this one. That's not a solid goal. The first one, a good power play goal on the back door. The second one, even a breakaway by Wes Walz, but this one, maybe a little bit of a soft goal by Adam Monroe, and just getting the puck to the net. The Wild are up 3-0.
Well, Adam Monroe might be headed back to the Gwinnett Gladiators in the East Coast League if he gives up a few more like that, as we're going to whistle here on the icing.
Well, you know what happens a lot of times with the young goaltenders and experienced goaltenders, even if they give up a couple of tough goals, even if they're good goals, it still plays on your mind. And then the last one, of course, maybe that's the effect of having had a couple goals, even quick ones, even if they're good goals, playing on the mind of the young netminder.
Mike should point out Philippe Kuba credited with the goal, evidently not deflected by Matt Johnson. It goes unassisted, his 6th of the season and first goal in 30. Andre Zuzan will play it. Now we're going to get a fight. It's going to be Ryan Vandenbush and Matt Johnson. Well, they were matched up as fourth line combatants earlier in this game. And they dropped the gloves here, and Ryan Vandenbush, very, very tough. We know how tough Matt Johnson is as well. And Matt Johnson getting into it early here, and the nice little right jab there by Johnson.
Well, Vandenbush led this Blackhawk team in both the 99-2000, 2000-2001 seasons in penalty minutes. And he leads the Blackhawks with now, he'll get his 17th major of the season. And there it is. You know that they were going to go. And well,
it almost looked as if Matt said, "I don't need to go. We're up 3-0."
Yeah, you know that's the respect, I guess, between tough guys. Is you know that the other guy's going to come and try and get the momentum changed for his team. So he says, "Hey, you know, I'll oblige you. I'll fight you." And the way they went. So you know, you'd likely see the very same thing going back the other way if the score were reversed. So
a little bit different than the whole thing between Alex Henry last night and Jody Shelley. That there is fine. That's the way it should be.
And that's what bothers me so much about that is if challenged, Alex Henry would have dropped the gloves and fought Jody Shelley. There wouldn't have been any problem. The fact that he sucker punched him makes it a totally different scenario, and you don't need that. You really don't.
Fighting Majors, Manny Fernandez going to cover up with the glove, and we'll get a face-off inside the Wild zone.
Well, Manny Fernandez not really tested a lot in this game so far, but he's made a couple saves, and that's actually games like this are tougher, I think, on Manny Fernandez than the ones where he's busy from the drop of the puck to the end of the game. The ones where you have a lot of idle time in between shots, those are the ones that are tough on Manny, and he's doing a pretty good job here so far.
He hasn't seen a lot. He could have a ham sandwich and a cold one down there between the pipes for the Minnesota Wild early in this one. Now the Wild working on that 3-0 lead. Puck played around. And here comes Gabbert. Left wing side. Sent one on. Monroe made the save there. We get some cat calls. Tough first period for Adam Monroe, who's really a great story. Went to Ottawa and their training camp is a tryout this year and wasn't signed by the Blackhawks until February. Into the zone, Tyler Arneson, his shot goes wide. Brian Berard will play at the point, side of the net, and Manny Fernandez holds on. 3-0. It's been all Wild early tonight from Chicago.
Well, there's your league leaders. They're Wells Fargo league leaders in goals scored by rookies. And Tuomo Ruutu down there with 18. He has 5 power play goals in his last 9 games. So the power play is adding to his totals, obviously. And he's really showing a lot. Very talented young player.
We haven't talked a lot about the Calder Trophy this year because most of the prime candidates are over in the Eastern Conference. We just don't see them all that much. And behind the net, Alex Henry. Now Mark Schwannard will get it back to center ice. He's got Alexander Day. And into the zone he goes. Daig looking around. Gives it off. Alex Henry tried to get it towards the net. And Monroe covers up. And he hears it again from the faithful here at the United Center. Well, Fox Sports Net and Time Warner Cable invite you to check out Minnesota Wild action like you've never seen it before in high definition. You can join us Monday. Joe Sensor's out in Bloomington when the Wild take on Detroit. The party starts at 6. There'll be food and drink specials, prize giveaways, so much more. We'll be in Detroit. You go to Joe Sensor's in Bloomington, and high definition is something else. You got to see it. You really do. As Steve Popstall set it up in behind the net for Chicago.
And that'll be the last, well, this is the second last road game of the year. That, of course, will be the last road game of the year for the Wild.
Hawks will be home Sunday afternoon to meet the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Quick shot over the top of the net. Into the corner it goes. Antti Laaksonen plays it to the line. Pops. Knocked away. Well, the Hawks try to work it into the corner. Brett McLean. And McLean behind the net. McLean holding it. Left wing corner. Looking to take it away is Wes Walz. He will. Walz, one of the 2 goal scorers. Or one of the 3 goal scorers, I should say, along with Andre Zuzin and Philippe Kuba. Steve Pops sets it up for the Blackhawks. 8:11 to go in this opening period tonight from the United Center in Chicago. Wild won both meetings between these 2 teams up at XL Energy Center, and the Hawks shut out the Minnesota Wild. They're here on opening night, 1-0 way back in the month of October. To Omo Rudu. Looked like he took himself offside. Play continues, and Willie Mitchell.
I think he was still straddling the line. No one else had come in yet, so he basically was, I guess, in the in purgatory.
Behind the net. Hawks play it around. Michael Barinka gets it outside the zone. Zuzin. Pass for Jason Weimer. Just kind of deposits it in behind the Hawks goaltender Adam Monroe. Bouncing puck comes in front. Now it's played away. And right back to center. Into the zone it goes. Willie Mitchell. Now it's taken away. Right to the net. And Fernandez, his first big test of the game.
Well, you got to watch these youngsters and root to one of the more talented ones as we just talked about. And when they get in there, they get the rebounds is what they're looking for. Good shot there. And Manny Fernandez had to be quick and to jump on that one. This shot comes in. It comes up really high, so it's a kind of a tough rebound for anyone to handle, including the defenseman. And it just bobbles and rolls towards Fernandez, and they're all over that one. So set plays up from anywhere, as we've seen.
Daig for the Wild. He'll get one in on right wing. Mark Schwannard chasing it down. Puck comes in front. Knocked to the line. Kuba's shot over the top of the net. I thought that might catch Adam Monroe while he was down, and maybe just inside the crossbar. He's not the biggest goaltender that I've ever seen. Bell to center for Chicago. Nicholas, nice pass over the line, and that's steered aside by Fernandez. Mark Bell chasing it in behind the net. The puck rolls around to the right wing boards, kept by Jason Strudwick for Nickel. His shot stopped. Daze in front, and they score. Daze found his teammate Mark Bell in front, and the Hawks are on the board. They trail the Wild 3-1.
That was a little sloppy. A couple of bad rebounds right there. Fernandez gives one way too far, and then no one picks up. Bell, who just comes in without any obstruction at all. He comes straight in there, and he's on the back door. And when Daze, who has great reach, both these guys sizable players, and Daze picks up the bouncing puck and gets it over to Bell, and Bell really didn't have anybody on him at all.
21st of the season. That puts him one back of Tyler Arneson for the team lead here in Chicago. And again, the Wild watch the Hawks set it up in the corner. Eric Daze staying out there. The Wild will try to get out. They do. Bayou, he'll play it along for defenseman Nick Schultz. Schultz to the Chicago line. Well, Nick Schultz plays it into the corner, and in behind the net, chasing it down to Rickard Wallin. In front, Bayou shot is on. Monroe the save, and we'll get a whistle and step out. Mark Bell is 21st. It's 3-1 Wild. It's a nice one, huh? I think he'd look good in that. Look good on you.
Yeah, look great.
Face off to the right of Monroe. Nearly went in off the face-off. Yeah, that deflected. He's had some tough luck here in the opening period. Zbynek McCulloch will play it. And behind the net, Willie Mitchell plays it around. Antti Laaksonen clears the zone back to center. And the Blackhawks will dump one right back in. Hernandez is steered in behind the net. Willie Mitchell took a big hit, but it's McCulloch with the puck. And he goes up on the right wing. Gabbert chipping it out of the zone before the Blackhawks will set it up. Steve Popst. And now circling inside of his own zone is Yakubov, the Russian, Mikhail Yakubov. Marian Gabbert trying to get it inside the zone. He does. He gives it to Walls. Walls. Rink wide. They score! Side of the net for Antti Laaksonen. Walls gets his second point of the period, and the Wild lead it 4-1.
Well, once again, it takes someone to start the play, and up the middle, it's going to be Marian Gaborik. Look at him, working hard along the wall, busting through 2 and then 3 guys. Walls does the rest, getting it over to Laaksonen, who one-times it. Nice play there, and I tell you what, 4 goals on this young goaltender, Adam Monroe. Only one of them has been questionable. The others, you know, I can't see too many other goaltenders stopping all 3 of them. He is being victimized by some very nice offensive plays by the Wild right now.
Antti Laaksonen breaks a 14-game drought with the goal that has given the Wild the 4-1 lead. In behind the Chicago net. Now the Hawks got on the board to cut the lead to 2. Wild get it right back. Less than 2 minutes later, Antti Laaksonen. Stefan Veilleux taking a hit. Down low, Pierre-Marc Bouchard working with Veilleux. And behind the net, Tyler Arneson trying to tie up Bouchard. Arneson behind the net, he lost it. Veilleux takes it away. Veilleux trying to get it in front. Weaver down low, and he overskated the puck. And Daze will get it to center. Eric Daze trying to get around Kuba, shot wide. Up played to the line to Omorutu, and it's cleared away and sent out of the zone and down the length of the ice. So this will be an ice. No, they wave it off. So I thought icing for sure.
And that makes it 15 goals the Wild have scored over the last 3 games and counting. Actually, I should say 2 1/3 games because we haven't finished this one yet. But a lot of goals by the Wild against Chicago in the last 3 meetings here.
Well, we get a whistle here and an icing call. Don't forget, you can reserve your address in the state of hockey by joining the Wild Warming House. It's the waiting list for Wild season tickets. Members receive great benefits, including access to single game tickets and other Xcel Energy Center events. Now, operators are standing by right now. They will take your call. They will explain everything to you right now. Call 651-222-WILD. 651-222-WILD as Monroe makes the save there. We're going to face off.
Andre Zuzin getting one in from the point, and I think some of the Wild players seeing what can happen when you get it to the net. There's your latest goal scorer, Antti Laaksonen. Gets a nice pass over from Wes Walls and just chips it into the far side.
Andre Zuzin has it into the corner. Now Matt Johnson. Richard Wallin plays it in behind the net.
They're going to go here, Johnson and Vandermeer.
Now Vandenbush looking at Johnson.
Well, now Vandenbush, Vandermeer, they're all down by the blue line. Plays going on the other end, and these guys are standing around pushing and shoving. Boy, that's
a couple of vans down by the Chicago.
Down by the river.
Sent high and wide.
Oh, you know what? Vandermeer, you remember, fought Brad Brown when he played for Philadelphia early on this season. Remember that fight? It went on for like 3 minutes. But Vandenbush, of course, and Johnson already went once in this game.
Arneson goes the other way. Arneson trying to get a shot off. Great defensive play by Mark Schwannard. Wild nearly caught in a change.
Yeah, I think Vandermeer was thinking twice about matching up with Johnson. Vandenbush came in and he didn't go.
Here's Schwannard. He let one fly, and that goes over the top of the net. Adam Monroe, the goaltender, didn't know if he should come out to play it or stay in the crease. He elected to stay. Daze. And that's gloved by Fernandez, and we'll get a whistle and a stoppage.
Well, here's the situation down the other end there. Johnson was pushing, and pushing and shoving with Vandermeer, and here comes Van den Busch to step in. They've already gone once, and then a couple more shoves. Nothing really comes of this. They just keep pushing and shoving. So I'm pretty sure you'll see some more action later on in this game from all those guys.
Well, Matt Johnson, when it was 3-0, obliged. A shot stopped by Fernandez. One-timer by Mark Bell. He's got the lone Chicago goal so far as we roll on past the 18-minute mark of period number 1. Alex Henry on left wing finds Antti Laaksonen to center. Walls with it. Looking for Gaborik. Puck into the right wing corner of the Chicago zone, and Steve Pops will play it in behind the net. Wild with a 4-1 lead here in the opening period tonight from United Center in Chicago. Wes Walls. Laaksonen and a right wing pass for Gaborik. Over the line, Gaborik holds, trying to get around the defenseman, and a penalty coming up here.
Well, Darren Quint held on to him as he went to the net and basically just dragged him down. Marian Gaborik is just trying to chip the puck past him and then skate around him, but the holding call will cost them another power play for the Minnesota Wild here.
Gaborik was slow to get up on that play. It looks like he hit, maybe hit the kidneys.
Well, watch him try and go around. He chipped the puck by, and then he slid into the post a little bit. But he tried to chip the puck by Darren Quint. It was almost successful, but the holding call ensued.
So the Wild with a chance for 5 in this opening period. They go to the power play with 1:18 remaining. Jason Weimer in the corner. Bouchard. Now Bouchard trying to go behind the net. Dupuis. And the puck is cleared away. Up front, Weimer with Bouchard and Dupuis. The point men here for this power play, Daig and Kuba. He just got one of the 4 goals here tonight for the Minnesota Wild. Daig gets it back in. Dupuis that time a little bit ahead of the line, so the faceoff comes out on the offside.
Well, one thing that Columbus did very well last night on their penalty kills, standing up at the blue line and just standing up in general, forcing the puck, so the Wild really had to just throw it in, and that's where the turnovers occurred. So the Wild have to try and get that puck in the zone. Once they do, they moved it around very well on that last power play.
Well, Rickard Wallin out there to take the draw against Corla for the Chicago Blackhawks. And Steve Pops in Chicago. They send down the length of the ice. Marian Gaborik has it. Andre Zuzin gets it back to Gaborik. Gaborik has it. Boy, you can just sense he wants the puck here, and he's going to bring it right back to center. Gaborik into the zone. Dishes into the left wing boards. Travis Moen trying to advance it. Veilleux will take it away. Veilleux now for the Wild, setting it up with Rickard Wallin. Burnett has it, far boards. Now Burnett tries to set it rink wide. Zuzin now for Gaborik. Gaborik holding, down low, Wallin to Gaborik. Gaborik sent one towards the net, and that hits somebody out high. Zuzin will take it to the corner, but time is going to run out, and the first period has come to an end. How about this offense for the Minnesota Wild?
Well, they're getting some good breaks, getting the puck towards the net. It's paying off. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle this lead. Big leads are always tough to handle early on in hockey games. See how they come out in the second period.
So the Wild get the power play rolling from Zuzin. They had goals from Walls, Kuba, and Laaksonen. End of one in the Windy City. It's been all Wild 4-1. Play that bit when we come back. Then Monday night will be at Joe Louis in Detroit right here on Fox Sports Net. Colorado rolls in, and then Dallas on April the 2nd. Don't forget about that viewing party in high definition for the game Monday night from Detroit out at Joe Sensors in Bloomington. Hockey like you've never seen it before. So the Wild with a big first period. We'll see what happens here in the second. Mark Swinard in on the faceoff, and the puck will carry him back inside the Minnesota zone. 4 different goal scorers in the opening period. Andre Zuzin had a power play goal. Wes Walls, Philippe Kuba, and Antti Laaksonen also adding tallies. Laaksonen with a couple of points along with Marian Gaborik getting a couple of points in that first period of play, assisting on 2 of the 4 goals. Alexander Daig has it. He'll set it up inside of his own zone. 5 seconds left in that. A minor penalty to Darren Quinn of the Blackhawks. And he's out of the penalty box, and so the Wild can't convert. We do have the Zuzan power play goal that opened up the scoring. And the Blackhawks are back to full strength. Daig takes it away. Gaborik now, right circle. Tried to dish it in front. Walls is there, but it's knocked away. Now a shot from the point by Schultz. And we have our nightly broken stick as the puck is sent right back in.
We should sponsor that event.
It's unbelievable. Last night, Kuba on a grade A scoring chance in Columbus. The stick snapped right in two. Gaborik the other way. Rister stopped. Big rebound. And a line it goes.
I don't know if Adam Monroe saw that all the way he reacted. It came off of his chest, and it bounced dangerously away from the crease.
Wes Walz in behind the net. Joined out there with Marian Gaborik and Antti Laaksonen. Laaksonen trying to get it to the front. Gaborik, and guess what? A broken stick. So 2 broken sticks in the first minute and a half of the second period. In behind the net, Wes Walz. And Tuomo Ruutu brings it along. Lead pass. This one's going to go down the length of the ice. And Willie Mitchell touches up for the icing call.
Well, the Wild and Wes Walz talked about just not getting into a situation where they fall back or sit back. And he said after the 3rd goal, they did that a little bit. After the 4th goal, he was encouraged to see that they worked hard. And I think maybe that 1 goal by Chicago told them that they're not going to just flow through this one.
Alex Henry sends one towards the net. Monroe makes the save there. Wild try to work it in the left wing corner. Weimer that time. And now it's taken away by Bouchard. Got it towards the net, but the Blackhawks will move it up the ice. Crossing center ice that time, Brett McLean will send one in behind Manny Fernandez. Rolling puck. Verveilles on left wing, and he gets it to center for Bouchard. Bouchard for the Wild into the Chicago zone. McCulloch, right point, and a wrister right on, and a stop there by Monroe. I'll tell you what, part of the strategy with the shakiness in Monroe, you just got any chance you can get right now, Mike. Get the puck on net and just bury these guys and finish them off here. Sabinik McCulloch. Played right back in. If you go back to that game Sunday, the 2-0 Wild lead against the Phoenix Coyotes, Jacques Miller said, hey, we just stopped doing what got us the 2-0 lead. Not the case here so far tonight as Monroe makes the save and gets the face-off.
Now, the Wild were pressing very well in that hockey game, and then they got into a situation where they started to get away from the strategies and the gameplay that they were so successful at. And Jacques shook his head. He said, why did we do that? Why would players try and move away from what had them being successful? But sometimes that happens. That's the nature of the beast sometimes. And it just came back the other way on them.
Into the zone. This one's going to be taken away and denied by Andre Zuzan. Kicked back to center by the Wild. Willie Mitchell has it as he plays it along for Andre Zuzan. Wild setting it up here in the first few minutes of the second period. 16:42 to go. Pascal Dupuis, and he'll dump one into the corner. So Travis Moen sets it up for Chicago. This will give the Wild a chance to change it up. Dupuis, though, got it in front. Dupuis today, he scores! Alexander Daig, great eyes on the play by Pascal Dupuis as well. And it's 5-1 Minnesota.
Oh, you got a feel for that young goaltender for Chicago. He really is not getting a lot of help. This shot, though, is generated by good hard work by Pascal Dupuis, and the forecheck gets in there and throws one at the net, and it's the rebound he gets himself and then feeds over to Daig. Look at that forecheck, lays the stick down, then he just passes it over. Everybody's looking at Daig because he's going to, everyone's looking at Dupuis because he looks like he's going to spin around and shoot it. Instead, he finds his line mate in Daig, and Alexander Daig puts in another goal here, and Wild are up 5-1.
So Alexander Daig with the goal ties Andrew Burnett for the team lead, both with 15. Daze sends one in, Fernandez the save. Into the corner it goes. Tyler Arneson down low, battling for the puck as well. Tuomo Ruutu And it'll be played away on left wing. Day gets it to center. Mark Schwannard muscling it back to the Chicago blue line before it's cleared away. Schultz gets it in behind the net. Daig has it. Alexander Daig now for Andrew Burnett. He's stripped of the puck and knocked away and cleared all the way back inside the Minnesota blue line. It's Alex Henry and Nick Schultz defensively right now, and Schultz will find Daig with the puck. And Alexander Daig crossing center. Daig into the zone for Burnett. This play, though, goes offside.
Well, you see somebody getting ready on the bench. Thibault has got his glove on. And I don't know if he's going to be past his blocker here and then mask and stick. I haven't seen it unless he's just keeping that hand warm. But,
well, the fifth goal got the blocker on. The sixth goal might get the glove on. And the seventh goal will go full mask.
Yeah, well, you never know. Oh, but yeah, like I said, just a lot of tough situations for the young goaltender. And a lot of the goals have been just sloppy play, first of all, by the guys in front of them. And then maybe a little bit of inexperience has not maybe allowed Chicago to be as confident in front of the young goaltender.
Using behind the net, Nickel tries to bring it around. Gaborik will take it away. 3-on-2 developing for the Wild. Gaborik has it. Right side. Tried to dish it in front. Nice play by Steve Pops. He's been one of the best Blackhawks here early on, back on their blue line. Marian Gaborik.
Not after missing 29 games this season with a concussion. One that was ultimately suffered against the Wild January 7th, the last time these two teams, or not the last time they met, but in one of the previous meetings.
Well, we mentioned earlier the Wild winning both games at XL Energy Center. They lost to the Hawks 1-0 here on opening night. Remember that game well. I mean, we're talking about, well, now we're going to get a
too many men
on the ice penalty here. And the Blackhawks will go to the power play.
You know, and the reason is that not everyone was off the ice, but the man who jumped over the boards for the Wild played the puck. We'll play our little counting game. It's over by the bench, so it's once the puck gets right there. Yep. As soon as everyone's made the change, then he can play the puck. But he's yeah, absolutely. So. Too many men. Another penalty for the Wild. I think that's what, number 17 on the year, if my count is correct. It may not be, but
now that's higher math than I'm capable of coming up with.
It just, you know, once you get past the 10, it's probably just too many. Too many men.
Something else all season long. So the Blackhawks will go to the power play. They trail the Wild 5-1 early on. Just 5 minutes and 45 seconds gone in the second period. Play behind the net. Kuba looks to clear it. He'll get it back to center ice. Penalty killers: Stefan Veilleux, Mark Schwannard, Philippe Kuba, and Nick Schultz. Mark Bell has it. He'll bring it to the line for Brian Berard. Into the corner. Hawks look to work it to the line. Bell finds Berard. It's been a Blackhawk power play that's been red hot. Bell, his shot went wide. Schultz down low. They try to set it up for Brett McLean. To the line, Berard. Berard's shot never made it to the net. Bell trying to get a hold of it. Into the corner now for Mikhail Yakubov. It's cleared. Red hot. Yeah, I'd have to say so. The Blackhawks 12 for 35. They've got power play goals in 3 of their last 4 and 11 of their last 13 as this one's deflected to the netting.
And he's a big reason why. Berard from the point has really done a fantastic job. He has 14 points in his last 16 games, and trust me, plenty of those have been on the power play. You see his power play numbers.
Willie Mitchell will send down the length of the ice. 40 seconds left in the bench minor for too many men. Being served by Pierre-Marc Bouchard. 7 minutes gone, second period. Wild will look to pick it off. Wes Wall's one of the 4 penalty killers with Antti Laaksonen, also out there Alex Henry and Willie Mitchell. Walls and Laaksonen leading the Wild in shorthanded points this season. They've got 6 between the two of them. Hawks will bring it along. Darren Quinn across center, gets it into the zone. Now Daze to the line, and a chance that time sailed wide by Michael Barinka. And behind the net, Tuomo Ruutu. Willie Mitchell will take it away. Bouchard's out of the penalty box. Well, let's see here. Skate race for the puck. And Bouchard's going to try to beat his man to it. They wave off. No, they're going to call icing. Boy, was that a late call on the touch-up. 5-1 Minnesota. A familiar face for hockey fans in Minnesota, former North Star, and he's now an assistant coach here for Brian Sutter and the Chicago Blackhawks. Sutter kind of stepping into the picture there to the right to talk to his team, which trails the Minnesota Wild 5-1. Philippe Kuba plays it for Zbynek McCulloch. Wallin couldn't get it out. Kuba back to get the puck around down right wing, and it's cleared back to center. This one's sent back in. Zbynek McCulloch is there. Out of the corner it goes. Down low with it is Matt Keith. He'll try to work it in behind the net. Sitting it up there is Yakubov. Brett McLean for Chicago. Sends it in behind the net. Rolls back towards the right point. Sent back down low. McLean in behind the net. Watched by Zbynek McCulloch. Tried to get it to the line, but Pascal Dupuis is going to take it away. Dupuis tries to advance it. This puck goes into the Chicago zone. And it's played right back for Andre Zuzin. To center for Philippe Kuba. Weimer's going to take it into the corner. Gives it there for Bouchard. Now Bayou in behind the Chicago net for Weimer. Bayou with it again. Stepan Bayou holding on to it. Wraparound. Is it in? Boy, was that close. Bayou thought he had a goal, but we get a whistle. And now Bayou, instead of a goal, maybe thinking about the other two-thirds of the Gordie Howe hat trick, the fight.
Not sure what the commotion was afterwards, but watch the move here as he makes on the short side. And wow, he had it tucked there. You take a look at the right-hand post. See Monroe just all over the place, and it just gets the pad there in time.
That would be inconclusive.
Yeah, that would be.
Well, Stepan Bayou came very close. Monroe looking completely the other way. Didn't have his pad on the right post at all. Bayou stays out. Gets a bit of a whack there off the face-off from Barinka. Bayou takes it away, trying to get it in front. Loose. Weimer, backhander, stopped by Monroe. Hawks will bring it out of the zone, and here they come back to center. With it is Igor Korolev. Into the corner for Vandenbush. Easy save there for Manny Fernandez. To the front, and Fernandez again, another save. It's loose. Finally played away to the corner.
Probably the best scramble that Chicago's been able to muster in this hockey game. And I think they only got one shot out of it.
Down the length and in behind the net. The Hawks will set it up. Jim Vandermeer. You mentioned coming over from Philadelphia. Korolev plays it for Chicago. The Blackhawks trailing the Wild 5-1. Midway point of the second period. Penalty coming up here. Things starting to get a little bit rough.
And that's what happens in a game that is separated by 4 goals, and when it's only midway through the second. I think Gabrick's going to get the initial call. I don't know if there's anything following that. May have been a high stick because the referee's checking on players, but yes, absolutely. It's going to be Walls. I thought it might have been Gabrick that got piled up, and it is Walls. There he is. Walls catches him, and then Gabrick comes in and falls on top of him. So Wes Walls, who has 2 points in this hockey game, goes off for the high sticking minor.
Wes Walls eats, sleeps, and breathes hockey. Probably more so than anybody I've been associated with in the game. This one's going to be cleared away. Mark Schwannard in a skate race with Brian Berard. It's Berard for Chicago who gets the puck. Blackhawks decked out in their home red jerseys here tonight. This one cleared away by Alex Henry and back down the length of the ice. With 32 left in the Walls penalty. Hawks power play back out there. Failed to convert earlier in this period. Flipped along Kuba. In behind the net, that's taken away by Daze. They'll work it to the line. Quint, good keep there for the Blackhawks. And Kuba picks it off, and he'll send down the length of the ice.
Well, the nice thing is the 5 different scorers for the Minnesota Wild in this hockey game. Spreading it around a little bit.
Into the zone it goes. Blackhawks set it up, and a shot is on. Rebound. Oh, and a save, and they put it home. A loose one in front. Brett McLean, and it's 5-2 Wild.
Well, they made 2 very good saves, and the third one just couldn't come up with. Power play goal here. There's the second one on Bell, who has the lone goal for the Chicago before McLean gets one. Here's the shot, save, rebound, save, and he's just too far out of a position to make the third save. Well, you hear goaltenders expected to make the first save, and a lot of times even the second one, but the third one, someone has to be back checking or picking someone up, and right there, Brett McLean, benefactor of another loose rebound.
So the 11th of the season for McLean, and the Blackhawks back to within 3. Knocked away by Bouchard. Puck's going to be played in behind the net. Bell and Yakubov on the assist for Chicago. Love save there by Manny Fernandez, and we'll pause. 5-2 Minnesota. Trivia question: who coached the Blackhawks to the Stanley Cup final appearance in 1992, and who did they lose to? We'll have the answer a little bit later on.
That's a 2-part question.
Got to be extra sharp tonight from Chicago, right? Maybe we should call it our trivia questions. Khalid Kuba. Actually, trivia question with multiple answers. How's that? At center, Brian Berard. Nick Schultz will take it away, and this one's dumped right back in. Brian Berard has it. 5-2. The Wild leading at 8:13 remaining, period 2. Back to center. Into the zone. Keith, his backhander steered by Manny Fernandez. Well, Mark Swinard in the corner. Wild will try to take it away, and they will. Philippe Kuba, he might have a 2-on-1 developing. He kicks it up to Daig. Daig with a chance over the top of the net and off the glass.
Deflected by Strudwick, and good defensive play as Daig was winding up for the blast.
Willie Mitchell at center ice. Zuzin now inside of his own zone. Mitchell. Marion Gaborik. Gaborik crosses center. Moves it along for Wes Walls. Walls into the zone. Back towards Gaborik. Well, Marion Gaborik leaves it in behind the net for Antti Laaksonen. This line has been flying here tonight in Chicago. And sent all the way back to center ice.
Another good example of a player throwing the puck into an area and maybe having someone skate into it. And Walls tossed that one down by the bottom of the circle, hoping that Gaborik would skate into it, and he just missed it.
Scott Nickel lost it. Walls will turn it the other way for Antti Laaksonen. Nickel took a bit of a shot at Laaksonen. Play rolls on.
He took a little bit of a shot at Bayou earlier in the period.
Zbynek McCulloch has it under 7 minutes remaining in the second period tonight. Final meeting of the season between the Blackhawks and the Minnesota Wild. Season will come to an end a week from Sunday. There's Ryan Vandenbush, sends one right back in. To the corner, Vandenbush took a bump there from Matt Johnson. They went earlier in this hockey game. It was a 3-0 Minnesota lead. Mitchell takes this one away, and he'll get it towards Matt Johnson, who gets it back to center. Pascal Dupuis, and this one's dumped right back in. Interesting break out there. Did the trick, got the puck deep into the Chicago zone. Darren Quint, well-traveled Darren Quint, former Phoenix Coyote and Columbus Blue Jacket. That's center ice, flipped along for Travis Moen. As Henry sets it up, and we get an icing call. Still 5-2. Things getting a little testy here at the UC. 1992 when they lost in the Stanley Cup Finals, and who did they lose to? Mike Keenan. Iron Mike. They were swept out by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh winning 2 Stanley Cups in the 1990s. The other one coming against the Minnesota North Stars. Bouchard tries to set it up, cleared away, and the Hawks bring it into the zone. Eric Daze tries to lead for Tyler Arneson. No problem there for Fernandez. Willie Mitchell with a big takedown there on Tuomo Ruutu, who was cutting to the net.
Well, this game has remained, I guess, intact, if you want to call it that, because of some of the scoring here. The Wild added a goal, and so did the Chicago Blackhawks. And that 3-goal cushion kind of gives Chicago the idea that they could catch a couple here and maybe make it a game. But you get, like I said, you get too far of a separation sometimes, and that's when the gong show begins.
Eric Daze. This one goes off the netting. It was deflected away by Nick Schultz, and so we'll get a face-off. Yeah, it's a teeter. It's like you're saying, 3 goals. Chicago's still kind of hanging around.
And I think Chicago looks back to the meeting a couple of times ago where the Wild eventually won 7-4, but a game in which Chicago led and then the Wild took the lead. It was back and forth. 11 goals scored in that one game alone. And so I think they recognize that this game can change directions quite a few times.
Wild in both of those goals are games in St. Paul scoring in bunches. Chicago is in both of those affairs. Arneson to the line, has it for Berard. His shot stopped by David Fernandez. Good example there. That shot gets through, and you just never know. Alexander Daig, a 2-on-1 with Willie Mitchell. Daig's going to take it to the net. Daig holding. He shoots. He sent it wide. Mitchell. Backhander just goes wide.
Well, last couple games, seen a lot of Willie Mitchell up in the offensive part of the ice.
Here's Wes Walz to the net. He sent one over the top of Adam Monroe. Philippe Kuba. Blocked away by the defenseman Berard, and it's cleared all the way back to the Minnesota Blue Line.
2 chances there. Mitchell, Daig, and Walz, and all of them missed the net. Not going to test a goal like that.
Philippe Kuba has it. Walz, the center, looking for Monty Laxton. We're back to center ice. Wes Walz tries to get it inside the zone, taken away. Pops, moves it along to center ice. Into the zone it goes for Eric Nicholas. Sent to the net. And Fernandez holds on. 4:05 remaining in this second period. Don't forget, Clay Matvick will update you from locker room level in our second intermission.
Well, they're chasing Marian Gaborik around a little bit. Maybe getting involved a little bit after the whistle there. Here we go. Wow, this is not good. There's a lot of players on the ice because the team was in a shift change.
Yeah, Ray Scampanello, the linesman, trying to separate.
Well, Chicago has, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 players on the ice. So Chicago is in the middle of a change. The Wild have 2, 4, 5, 6, I think, players on the ice. Yeah, well, actually, now one of the Wild players has gone back to the bench, so they're and kind of got in the middle of a change there. Boy, that was a quick little turnaround.
4 Blackhawk players were told to go back, and they did retreat to the bench.
You could almost sense something was going on. I mean, they were chasing Marian Gaborik around a little bit, and then all of a sudden, Nickel and Johnson, it exploded. Really an awkward scenario there, and Henry involved as well. But it was really no premonition to it, and then all of a sudden everybody got into it. Bell and Henry, of course, spinning around. Nickel and Johnson. And, of course, Nickel doesn't want any part of that.
Mark Bell's been one of their offensive threats, so he goes to the penalty box.
Oh, it was, like I said, this might be a ticking time bomb here in a game. And maybe I was wrong about the 3-goal cushion. Maybe a 3-goal cushion is plenty to set off some things on both sides.
The steely eyes of Brian Sutter just moments ago on the Wild bench. We're just going to wait to see what gets handed down here. Bell on the right. On the left is Scott Nickel in the penalty box for the Chicago Blackhawks.
It was interesting, though. You could see it develop, but then it subsided, and all of a sudden it blew up again. I really didn't see what what was the catalyst to that second little melee, but
and let's face it, Mike, the NHL these days super sensitive on things like this around the National Hockey League. A lot of suspension over.
And I like the fact that the National Hockey League is cracking down quickly on things. They're not letting things linger. They're not letting them hang around. I mean, they're making their decisions and letting it be known.
Well, the Blackhawks get the extra 2 minutes, so it means that the Wild are on the power play here with a 5-2 lead. And we go under 4 minutes remaining in the second period. Philippe Kuba lets it go, so Manny will play it. And he gives it right back to Kuba. Philippe Kuba has it. At center on left wing is Alexander Day. Day into the zone. Stefan Veilleux into the corner. 5 players battling for possession deep inside the Chicago zone. Steve Pops with Korolev to the line. Kuba will handle it. Wild power play. Dig shot stopped by Monroe. Behind the net, Kuba. Kuba back in the lineup. He assisted on the Day goal earlier in this period. Behind the net, Kuba. Looks to lead it there for Rickard Wallin. Puck around for Dig. Now it's played in behind the net. Kuba's going to give chase before it's cleared away by Steve Pops. Bell gets a 4-minute roughing penalty. That is the extra 2 off the board. Nickel gets 2 minutes for roughing. This one comes in front. Schwannard, he'll have to set it up for the Wild back in the neutral zone. Andre Zuzin gets it in. He looks to set up shot. Plays it down low. Struggle it for Chicago. Waston. Bouchard for the Wild. In behind the net now for Burnett. Andrew Burnett, side of the net for Bouchard. From the line, Gabbert. Now Andre Zuzin to Gabbert. Got one towards the net. Stopped that time by Monroe. They continue to work it in behind the Chicago net. Andre Zuzin. Burnett has it. Bouchard to the line, Gabbert. Bouchard out high, side of the net it goes. Burnett to Bouchard, another penalty coming here against Chicago. Burnett banging away at it. Side of the net, Gabbert. Gabbert's wrist shot blocked away. Delayed penalty. Ball here. They're going to whistle. Finally a stoppage. And the Chicago Blackhawks are going to have another shorthanded situation here.
Well, Nickel came all the way across the ice after serving that penalty and took Bouchard hard into the wall, and then Bouchard retaliated a little bit. Brunette getting in there as well. So, you know what? This game, it's offering everything that falls within the script when these two teams play. Fights, goals, and a little bit of rough stuff. So.
Well, slashing's the call, Mike, to Brett McLean. Should point out, too, that on that delayed penalty call, that penalty did expire as you were talking about Nickel coming across the ice.
Well, watch the referee's arm. There's the slash right there in front. And then there comes the arm up.
Well, Brian Sutter does not agree. The Wild again on the power play. They get the face-off to Kuba.
Nickel's lost his stick.
No stick up here, Wally.
No stick for Nickel. Kuba, one-timer, they score! Power play goal. Rickard Wallin. And it's 6-2 Minnesota.
Well, Nickel lost his stick, and I'm not sure why Wallin was left so wide open on the other side. But it allowed him to just take his time with the one-timer. Wallin just setting up nicely. Look at the nice feed there by Kuba. I think the thought process was that I'm going to go help Nickel out because he doesn't have his stick. Wallin gets his second goal of this season, had one last year in his 4 games with the Wild, and so he adds a power play goal to the mix here. Second power play goal of the game for the Wild.
Well, Kuba gets the single assist for the Minnesota Wild. And behind the net it goes. 18-17 the time of the power play goal. Kuba now on a multi-point night with a goal and an assist. Wild look to take it away. And now the Blackhawks will play it at their own blue line. Berard for Strudwick. Tuomo Ruutu lost it. They get it back to center ice, and Willie Mitchell will play it along. Andre Zuzin into the zone for Rickard Wallin. He lost it. Tyler Arneson, who's been extremely quiet in this one to this point, got it back to center ice, and into the zone he goes. Fernandez lets it go in behind the net. Bouncing puck comes all the way back to the right point, and it's cleared to center. Under a minute remaining in the second period. 6-2 the Wild. And it just gets better in our second intermission. We'll have Clay Matvick. Gaze sends one around. Mitchell will look to clear it along, and Burnett gets it to center for Daig. Daig now in a one-on-one with Steve Pops. Daig with it. Looking for some help. He hits the trailer. It's Burnett. Sent on. And a save by Monroe as Mark Schwannard was looking for the deflection.
Let's go to that power play goal the Wild just scored. And here's Nickel. He lost his stick, so when the puck comes over here, you know, he's going to come over with it. The only problem is there's no switch on the other side. Watch what happens here. Nickel just goes scampering when it goes cross point, and there's no switch, so that leaves a wide open Wallin for the one-time shot, and he just puts it at the net and scores.
A good read by Wallin as the puck is played to center. 11 seconds remaining in the period, and we get a whistle here. Chicago offside. Faceoff will come outside the zone.
So it's 6-2, and now it's going to be interesting. Now at the beginning of the third period, if you tuned in, you should stay. You should stay tuned in because the third period could offer some extracurriculars.
Into the zone, Quinn, and that's going to do it. End of 2 tonight in Chicago. The crowd is stunned. They are quiet, and that man, Rickard Wallin, just moments ago gave the Wild a 4-goal lead. End of 2 tonight from Chicago. It's the Minnesota Wild with a lot of players working on multi-point games here tonight. They lead the Hawks 6-2. Play mapping when we return. Multiple-point games.
And as long as they keep that trend going in terms of playing good hard offense and forechecking and keeping their heads in the game, this one should end rather nicely for them.
A look at Andrew Burnett, who sets in for the face-off. Well, the Wild had a 4-1 lead at the end of one. They've added to the lead. They got 2 more in the second. Blackhawks getting a goal in that second period as well from Brett McLean. Lots of streaks being snapped tonight. Loxton ending a 14-game goalless drought. And the big one was the defenseman, Philippe Kuba. He had gone 30 without a goal before tallying his marker. Actually, they've changed the goal. I did mean to point that out. Kuba's goal now it's actually Kuba assisting on Matt Johnson, who we originally thought might have deflected him. So Johnson from Kuba and Dupuis for Minnesota's third goal back at 9:08 of the opening period. So Kuba's goalless drought sits at 30. As we'll move it along into the zone, Daig for Burnett. Alex Henry will play to the corner. Wild get one in front again. Monroe had it roll off his glove, and the Blackhawks will get it out. Tuomo Ruutu for Chicago. There's Fernandez, plays it out of the corner. Wild try to get it out, and Fernandez holds on to this one. A wrist shot from the point by Brian Berard.
Well, Berard just trying to create something out there, and he has done a lot of creating for the Chicago Blackhawks this year from the blue line and on the power play. But right now, you know, Chicago, all game long, they've taken a lot of the long shots just inside the blue line or from very sharp angles, just hoping that Manny Fernandez is kicking the rebounds out. But he's done a pretty good job of controlling it this game.
West Walls, and he finds Antti Laaksonen into center. Gabrick can't find the puck.
Offside!
The Blackhawks will set it in. Delayed offside call here against the Minnesota Wild. So the Blackhawks with a free play to get it out of the zone. Darren Quint back crossing center. He'll dump one inside the Minnesota blue line, and a one-timer taken that time. Never made it to the net. Side of the net now. Scott Nickel trying to poke it free. Still at the side of the net for Mark Bell. Finally cleared into the corner. Russ Walls will take it away. And Walls right back to center. Walls for Marion Gaborik, and the puck is sent back inside the Chicago zone. And at 20 gone in this third period tonight. The Wild leading Chicago 6-2. Brett McLean for the Blackhawks as he comes in along, and Darren Quint to center. Weak shot there, ended up in the corner. Nick Schultz on left wing, and Bayou gets it to center. Bouchard for the Wild.
Hey.
This is Nick Schultz crossing center with it, and he'll dump it back into the right wing corner. Brett McLean for Chicago. Gets it on there. That's free, and Bouchard now is Vinnick McCulloch will play. Now get it out, Stefan Bayou, and he'll chip it along on left wing. Hawks to center. This one gets past Philippe Kuba. He'll chase it down. Travis Moen and Kuba looking for the possession. Ryan Vandenbush in behind the net, battling with Kuba. Matt Johnson around on left wing, and he'll play it along to center ice for Rickard Wallin. Wallin dumps into the right wing corner. Travis Moen for Chicago finds Brian Berard. And it's cleared all the way back to center, past Alex Henry and into the Minnesota zone. Play rolls on, nearly 3 minutes gone in this third period. 6-2 Wild leading it. Taken away momentarily by Dupuis, trying to charge it towards the net. Dupuis has it out towards the point. In behind the net for Wallin. Plays it around for Alexander Daig, and Daig finds Dupuis. Dupuis intercepting in behind the Chicago net. Pascal Dupuis. Dupuis to the front, they score! Alexander Daig set up for the second time of the game by Pascal Dupuis, and 7 goals sets a high watermark for the season on the road for the Minnesota Wild.
It's an area they had trouble scoring in. They had scored only 15 goals coming into this game in their last 11 road games, and now they've exploded for 7. And you know, both times not only did Daig set up or get set up by Dupuis, a lot of it was due to the great forechecking of Dupuis. He really was the one who created the forecheck and stole the puck on both occasions.
Oh yeah,
and set up Daig on beautiful plays. Those guys connecting very well on both those occasions. The Wild now up 7-2.
And don't look now, but Alexander Daig has taken over the scoring lead for the Minnesota Wild. 16th goal puts him 1 ahead of Andrew Burnett. Dupuis assisting. He now has a multi-point game. He is now the 6th here tonight for the Minnesota Wild. Gaborik, his shot just went wide. Played away, and back into the zone it goes. Dropping it is Nickel, and his shot blocked away. Ends up in behind the net, Willie Mitchell. And now Wes Walls will take it. Alexander Daig with a big night here tonight for the Minnesota Wild. A couple of goals, 15 and 16. What a story he's become this season for the Minnesota Wild. Showing up at training camp on a tryout offer. Now Keith got it towards the net, steered aside by Fernandez, ends up in behind the net. McLean, they're going to set it up for Matt Keith. Jason Weimer. Now they'll try to take it away. Weimer can't gain the handle. Behind the net. He's working over with McLean. Now McLean comes away with a pretty good forecheck there. And a good individual effort by Brett McLean. Hawks get it in behind the net. They try the wraparound, never made it. Matt Keith out high will set it up for the one-timer that is blocked out high. Jason Weaver might have gotten that one. Hawks to the line. A chance here by Vandermeer. Still towards the net. Andre Susan wants to clear it, and he'll send it all the way back down the length of the ice.
Good thing about a wraparound is it can even create more offense just on the rebound, and they tried to wrap that around and made the good save, but Chicago just couldn't finish. Vandermeer got one in from the point, but it was a fairly weak shot. through a crowd.
Well, Brian Sutter has got to be wondering what's going on. Don't forget the Blackhawks were victimized for 7 goals in that game at XL Energy Center in January. And again, this is a high watermark for the Minnesota Wild in terms of rolled goals this season. They had 6 in that game in November at Pittsburgh. Played back to center. And now into the Chicago zone. Adam Monroe steered in behind the net. Strudwick. Behind the net it goes. Travis Moen got a pump there from Richard Wallin. Now the Blackhawks work it to the line. Korolev trying to get it for Brian Berard. Berard in the corner. Looks towards the net. To the line. Wrist shot blocked away. And Matt Johnson's going to try to get it out. We're going to get a whistle here. A holding the stick penalty. We'll check it when we come back. Dig with a pair. 7-2 Minnesota.
Linesman Ray Scapinello having some fun here tonight in Chicago. The senior official in the NHL retiring after this season. He started in the league back in 1971. He's going to officiate his 2,500th game next Friday night in Buffalo. He's officiated some 490 playoff games, and after 33 years, he's hanging it up, guys, and he's going to retire in Guelph, Ontario. Congratulations to Ray.
And he is one of the all-time best, if not the best, linesman, in my opinion, anyways. In my lifetime, he's terrific. Always hustling and right on the call. And, congratulations, great career for the linesman Ray Scapinello. Into the zone it goes, and the Blackhawks will look to set one up. 6.5 gone in this third period of play. Dig has added to the Minnesota lead. It's now 5 goals. They lead at 7-2. Ryan Berard into the zone. This one's knocked away. Stefan Bayou trying to get it out. It's chipped along. That time Brian Berard caught a bad piece of ice. He kind of went tumbling. This one sent wide by Mark Bell. One of the 2 Chicago goal scorers. He got his way back at 13:39 of the opening period. Wild will take it away. Pascal Dupuis. Into the zone he goes. Wild on a shift change. Walls has it. Walls cut behind the net. Walls trying to use that speed before he lost the puck, and the Blackhawks will bring it out. Michael Barinker gets it to center ice. This one's turned the other way. And, Wes Walls was thinking about it. He crossed center ice, but now he'll peel to the bench.
Well, it was going to be a 2-line pass if he touches it. So he just made sure that it made its way down before he threw back toward and made the change.
Danny Fernandez with a save there. Comes in front, bouncing puck, and now it's steered away and deflected out by Mark Swinard. Darren Quint in the corner. Good job down low by the Wild again. And Gabrick getting sandwiched on that last sequence. Korolev for the Blackhawks into the zone. Igor Korolev cutting in behind the net. Worked over there by Willie Mitchell. And the puck goes past Pops to the left point, and it goes back inside the Chicago zone. Wild setting a season record for most goals on the road here tonight in Chicago. They had 6 in that game in Pittsburgh. Ties a team record for most goals in a game as well. Side of the net, Korolev. He got picked to the puck.
One set earlier this year against the very same team, except at home when they won 7-4.
And we'll see if they can set a new team record and get one more here tonight as the puck is played away back to center.
Hurry up, get off.
Pascal Dupuis. Dupuis trying to chip it along. He's back in the lineup. He's got to be feeling good here. Look out, turnover. Right to the net goes Matt Keats. Stopped that time by Fernandez. Alexander Day will get it out of the zone, and he gets it back to center. Chipped along by Dupuis, and now Dupuis heads to the bench. He's talking about Dupuis. 3 assists in the hockey game here tonight. And 2 setups for Alexander Day, both of his goals, and Well, what, almost carbon copies where Dupuis just found him wide open for the one-time. But McLean has it. Karen Quick getting a little bit of a whack there from Veilleux. Went with it, sent it on. Tony Fernandez kicks that away. Big hit there, Travis Mullen, and that will draw company. Alex Henry goes right after him. I thought he got the elbow up. I want to see it again, but Alex Henry, it doesn't matter to him. He's going right after to try to settle the score.
Well, Alex Henry obviously has opened up the cut on his forehead even before he got into the fight.
Yeah, he's
that five or six stitches he took in the forehead last night against from the sucker punch by Jody Shelley opened up, so he just decided to hang on and not get into the fight because it wouldn't do anybody, especially him, any good.
It almost looks like he butt-ended him.
Well, here's the hit on McCulloch. Got his arms up a little bit. Hard to see, but he got his arm up a little bit in his face, and that's where you can't see because of the referee there. So we're in the dark, but they both go off for fighting, I think.
I thought on the one, and he caught him up high, maybe with the glove right where the end of the stick is, but. Well, this happens at 9:59 of the third period.
Well, there'll be different situations where players will take advantage of each other, and that one right there, McCulloch was turned and trying to chip the puck up the boards. That's where Moen stepped into him.
Berard will bring it along, and he gets it into the zone. Brian Berard gets it right back, and a wrister off the netting. And so face off here. And we'll step out. 7-2 the Wild. Tonight in Chicago. Lost his life late last season, and he's known as Maggie here in Chicago, a former teammate of Tom Reed, who is the radio analyst for the Minnesota Wild, and just an unfortunate situation, just a tragic event. Keith Magnuson losing his life in an auto accident near Toronto. The puck is played back, and Jason Strudwick touches on the icing. He used to come out to the old Chicago Stadium for warm-up, and he'd do about 3 or 4 laps, did Keith Magnuson, before everybody came up the steps and was out on the ice for the warm-ups. A real fan favorite, and I'll tell you what, Alexander Daig is becoming a fan favorite for the Wild. Leading the team in goals scored, Brian Berard, and a save that time by Fernandez.
Once again, it's Berard starting stuff from the blue line, and he's their catalyst. He's the one who gets the offense going from the blue line for them. And right there, a good shot, good glove save there by Manny Fernandez, who's been pretty sharp in this game, but hasn't had to be overly sharp because Chicago has not provided a lot of offense in this game.
What a great story Brian Berard is in terms of a comeback player. Yep. The eye injury, and sitting out, rehabilitating, and then getting signed here in Chicago.
You were just talking about Alexander Daig, who's the dual Masterton nominee for the Wild. Well, Berard was the one for Boston a little while back.
Mitchell's shot is steered aside by Monroe. And now some pushing and shoving, and Matt Johnson is going to go with Jim Vandermeer.
With Matt Johnson earlier in the game, and I don't know why, but earlier in the game, Vandermeer would not fight Johnson, and this time he does, but
well, here's something to think about, too.
Vandermeer did fight Brad Brown earlier this year when Vandermeer played for Philadelphia and when Brad Brown played for the Wild.
Well, 2 and 5 to each player. And so they will be eligible to return, I believe. Vandermeer in the penalty box, and Matt Johnson, I believe, is headed and is in the Minnesota Wild locker room for treatment. We'll keep an eye on that if they decide to come back and go at it again.
Well, that would be Matt Johnson's third of the game, which would toss him for good if he does. But We'll see.
Played away and back to center ice. Brian Berard has it. All Minnesota Wild here tonight, 7-2. They lead the Chicago Blackhawks. Wild trying to get it back to the blue line, and Pascal Dupuis finds Gaborik over the line. Oh, what a move to the net. He scores! Marian Gaborik. And the Minnesota Wild set a team record. 8 goals.
Pascal Dupuis with his 4th assist of the night. Once again, look at this, feeding it across, and nice move by Marian Gaborik, goes 5-hole, and that's the 8th marker of the night for the Minnesota Wild. Well, this game continues to provide what we thought it would: rough stuff and offense.
So Marian Gaborik with the goal, 15th of the season. He's now tied with Burnett for 2nd. And they are 1 goal behind Alexander Daig. So a team record for the Minnesota Wild, 8 goals. Into the zone goes Gaborik. Loxonen gets it down low in the corner. A little under 8 minutes remaining here in the 3rd period of play. Unassisted Gaborik, 11:40 the time of the goal.
But I think they'll change that. Dupuis clearly fed Gaborik walking down the left side there, so that'll be changed, and that'll mark Dupuis' 4th assist of the hockey game.
Got to put him 1 point behind Gaborik's 5 points a week or so ago against the Ottawa Senators, which was a team high of anybody in terms of a 1-game output. And the Wild make history. 8 goals here tonight in Chicago. This will really also help their goal differential on the season. And the Wild came in the 5-on-5. They had scored 108 while allowing 109 as we get a whistle here on the offside. A lot of these goals, though, coming on the special team. Don't forget, you can reserve your address in the state of hockey by joining the Wild Warming House. It's the waiting list for Wild season tickets. Great member benefits, including access to single-game tickets and other XL Energy Center events. 651-222-WILD. Operators are standing by right now. So why don't you follow up a big Minnesota Wild night in Chicago by getting your name on the Wild Warming House list. Again, that number 651-222-WILD, and a penalty for Pierre-Marc Bouchard, and so the Wild will be shorthanded here.
He's going to be warming the penalty box for a couple minutes.
It's his own personal warming house, right? Well, Darren Quinn will set it up. As quiet as I've ever seen at the United Center here tonight, or for that matter, for a hockey game in Chicago. Brian Berard, he'll chip it in behind the net, maybe at 9,000 here tonight. I think a lot of them have headed to the parking lots off West Madison Street. And it's cleared away by Kuba. 8-2, Minnesota Wild with the lead. Gaborik just moments ago getting his 15th. Eric Daze lugs it into the zone for Chicago. Took a run from Willie Mitchell, played to the line Quint. Now Brian Berard ships it into the corner. Wild trying to get it out of the zone, and it's cleared past Brian Berard. And Adam Monroe will play it for Chicago. The Wild got a couple of goals way back in that first period in the span of 20 seconds. One on the power play from Andre Zuzin. And they have not been headed at all. Bell plays it along. Eric Nicholas in the corner. Came over from St. Louis via waivers. Popst keeps it the left point. Steve Popst trying to get it down low. Popst to the line. Nicholas, one-timer just wide. Nickel can't play it. Dupuis looks to get it out. And he clears it right back to center. Popst. Problem for Manny Fernandez. Go figure the season series too, Mike. A 1-0 shutout for Chicago in the opening game of the season tonight. They give up 8. Granted, the goaltending is a little bit different too. That game, Jocelyn Thibault played exceptionally well for Chicago.
It was the only game that Thibault's played in against the Wild all year long. They've played against 4 separate goaltenders this season when they played the Chicago Blackhawks. Greg Anderson, Michael Layton also playing against the Minnesota Wild this year.
Working to the line. Jason Strudwick couldn't keep the blue line. Strudwick has seen time with the Islanders in Vancouver. He has the puck right now. 4:15 to go. 8-2. The Minnesota Wild tonight here in Chicago. And Willie Mitchell will set it up. Shift change on for the Wild. Wild will be idle till Sunday afternoon when they host the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, and we'll get a whistle here on the touch-up. Rickard Wallin has a goal. 8 for Minnesota.
Down to Brunette, over to Zuzin, and it got the Wild really sparked and going, and it gave them some confidence, and they haven't turned back since then.
8 goals on the night, 2 on the power play. They went 0 for 8 on the man advantage last night in Columbus, so a great recouping effort, so to speak, for the Minnesota Wild. Here comes Dake for the hat trick. He'll take it to the net. Stop that time by Monroe. Well, that would have been for the hat trick for Alexander Dake. 3:25 remaining, and a shot on by Tyler Arneson. Arneson for Chicago plays it on the right wing boards. This one's picked off, and it goes right back to center. Into the zone for Dake, but this play goes offside. Veilleux just a little bit ahead, and so the faceoff comes out.
Well, Dake with a couple of nice goals, set up by Dupuis, and he almost was set up there on the left wing as he busted down the side. Saved there by Adam Monroe.
Dupuis will set in for the faceoff. As I mentioned, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks at XL Energy Center on Sunday. Don't forget about getting on that Wild Warming House list for season tickets. 651-222 Wild. There are operators standing by right now. So far on the night, 33 saves for Manny Fernandez.
Look at that slash by Nickel.
Yeah, Nickel just absolutely two-handed Akuba across the wrist. Let's see if Veilleux has words for Nickel. And Nick Schultz comes in as well.
Nickel's played pretty, well, there it is. There's a chop across the arm, and played a little gritty all game long, even a little dirty, but he gets the penalty for it this time.
Well, we hope Philippe's going to be okay. Don Fuller with a quick conference with the defenseman of the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, and that hurts when you take it right on the end of the finger. You lose the nail on that one if it got him right or wrong.
So slashing the penalty, and comes late. So Korolev on the face-off. Bouchard out there with Weimer and Burnett. An appointment, Andre Zuzin and Marian Gabbert. Wild set a franchise record for 8 goals. Gabbert plays it along Burnett. Will get it into the zone. Took a bit of a bump there. Puck into the right wing corner. Gabbert puts it along for Andre Zuzin. Part of the effort tonight, too, Mike, has been the Wild doing a great job in terms of the puck possession. They played keep away fairly well here tonight against Chicago. Zuzin has it, gives it to Burnett. They set up on the power play here to the corner for Bouchard. To the line, Gabbert. Bouchard has it. Into the corner for Burnett. He works the goal line, back to Bouchard. And Bouchard surveying. Gets it across Zuzin. Gabbert. Behind the net for Burnett. Well, Andre Zuzin lost it. Mark Bell will take it away for Chicago shorthanded. Gets it into the Minnesota zone. That's sent just wide. Manny Fernandez will make it 4 out of 5 in the win column for the Wild. Manny Fernandez, I should say. The Wild breaking a 3-game losing streak here tonight. They've got a 6-goal lead with a little more than a minute to go. Pascal Dupuis, side of the net, Mayu in front. Oh, they try to set up Wallin. And it's cleared away by Berard and sent down the length of the ice. Oh, they walked that one just to the side of Monroe.
That might have given Dupuis his 5th assist at the end of the period.
Daig is back out there. Under a minute to go. 2 seconds to go to the power play. Wallin behind the net. Gives it to Mayu. Now Daig out high. Daig's going to take a shot. Why not? Go for the hat trick. 33 seconds to go. An incredible night for the Minnesota Wild here in Chicago. They will win the season series, taking 3 out of 4. And it'll be a win streak against Chicago that will hit 3. A couple of wins back at XL Energy Center. They're 12 seconds away. Willie Mitchell. Puck played around, and the Wild will get it out of the zone. Walls to center. Flipped along by Burnett, and that's going to do it. The horn sounds. A lot of Wild fans here. They give them a standing ovation, and I think the Chicago Blackhawk fans, Mike, are just happy to be headed to the exits. But what a night. Manny Fernandez with the win. Fernandez getting his 10th on the season. And our Dodge player of the game is Pascal Dupuis, a career-high 4 assists.
Yeah, career-high 4 assists. Missed the team record by 1 in assists for the evening, but what a game by Pascal Dupuis.
Well, thanks for watching the Saturn Redline post-game report. That's all from Chicago. The Wild win it, going away by the final score of 8-2. Monday, the Wild return to Fox Sports Net when they face off against one of the best in the West, the Detroit Red Wings. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock. For Mike Greenley, Clay Matvick, this is Matt McConnell saying so long. Thanks for watching. Coming up, don't miss Totally NASCAR. Good night, everyone.